Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your leadership on this. In my district, it's all about security. It's about economic security. It's about national security. It's about school security, neighborhood security, and yes, border security, as well as protecting Social Security. And if you live in my district, you'll recognize that this bill, H.R. 4866, is truly about security. My district in North LA County has the most dense and largest interface of wildlands with human beings and housing developments. And they're all too familiar, my constituents, with the dangers that the wildfires pose to our homes and to our livelihoods. And for my constituents, wildfire mitigation isn't a red or blue issue. It's not a Republican or Democrat issue. It's a life or death issue. And that's why I've made it a top priority since coming to Washington to improve our ability to predict and to fight these disasters in order to keep our firefighters, our homes, and our families safe from harm. My bill, H.R. 4866, the Fire Weather Development Act, is a strong bipartisan step forward in a constant fight against these catastrophic wildfires. This bill will dramatically improve NOAA's ability to predict, prevent, and respond to wildfires and to get information down to the local emergency first responders. It'd be easy for the last 2 years that have been relatively calm fire seasons to lull us into a false sense of security in Southern California, but the next big fire season is right around the corner. We've had 2 years of record rain that has spurred an explosion of grass and dense shrubbery across the hills in my district, and as the weather starts to dry out again, so will the forest, transforming greenery into an abundance of fuel and BTUs that a stray spark or lightning strike can set ablaze in a moment's notice. Southern California will be a tinderbox this fall, and the time to prevent the wildfires is now. We can't allow ourselves to wait for another wildfire season like we had in 2020, where California lost over 4 million acres and 10,000 buildings due to mismanagement in years prior, like fires that we saw in Texas just recently and Hawaii just last year so horrifically, taking the lives of so many Americans. And half the wildland in my district falls in federal forests, so this is very important that we at the federal level take care of this issue. We need to be investing now, not just for our prediction efforts, but to ensure that our firefighters have every possible tool at their disposal to respond. Firefighters are like frontline combat operators against wildfires, and there's no reason they shouldn't be as well equipped as they fight their fires as our soldiers are when they fight our enemies overseas. They need the tools this bill provides: advanced imaging to see the fires before they grow out of control, drones to reach the small and remote fires, improved communications to adjust the forward line of combat operations quickly and safely. And just like our soldiers, we also need to send the firefighters into dangerous situations only when it's absolutely necessary. And my bill invests in fuel mapping, unmanned vehicles, unmanned aerial vehicles, wildfire behavior models, and more, and all the steps to make one firefighter fight like 10, and to minimize the need to put them in danger, and more importantly, to make sure that when they fight, they come home each night. The side benefit of all of this is that there's an ongoing fight against insurance companies in California, and this is going to improve the lives outside of just the wildfire events as well. This is a constant threat, and we haven't done a good job in California of managing our wildlands, and as a result of that, we've seen a disastrous effect on the livelihoods and the economy, especially in Southern California. The threat has gotten so bad that insurance companies are jacking up rates on current customers and have stopped offering policies to any homeowners in my district. I've heard countless stories from constituents about their house fire policies going up anywhere from 5 to 10 times what they were just in 1 year. I had a church pastor reach out this last weekend, Mr. Speaker, who said his premiums went from $3,000 a year for his fire insurance to $30,000 a year for a very small church. To be clear, this bill, it's not a silver bullet that is going to solve the insurance problem. That's a problem made in Sacramento that this will hopefully mitigate, but there's still a whole lot of bad policies coming out of Sacramento that need to be addressed, but if we can drastically improve our ability to protect people's homes, it will hopefully be a massive step in the right direction and allow the insurance companies to come back to California. I want to thank Chairman Lucas for his leadership on this and allowing this to come to the floor, and I want to thank the gentlelady, Ms. Caraveo, for her co-sponsorship of this bill. I urge my colleagues to support the Fire Weather Development Act to ensure the security of our constituents in all districts, not just mine, but throughout the nation, that face the daily threat of catastrophic wildfires. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield back.